Here is how minimalism simplifies your life when you have ADHD. When you're doing minimalism in your home, it's easier to clean, easier to organize, and easier to declutter. You don't have as many things when you actually go to organize, you're organizing less things. When you want to go to declutter, you're actually picking through less things to find the things you actually need to declutter. And as you're cleaning, you have less things to clean around or clean under. So it's going to take less time as well. And with ADHD, we hate doing boring things. They get put on the back burner. We procrastinate on doing them. We just don't want to do them. We have to find something more interesting. And if we can make that boring task easier and faster, that is a win for us. And when you have a minimalist home, it saves you so much time. And this is important for ADHD because you don't have as many things that you have to look through. If you lose something, you don't have as many places you have to go. You can find things so much quicker. So with ADHD and problems with time awareness, having some extra time is a great thing because then if we're running a little bit late, but we know we have extra time now, then we may not be late for that appointment. And here's another way that it simplifies your life. When you walk into a room with ADHD, you're generally scanning the room to see if anything in the room is actually interesting, or you're looking around to find something you came into the room for, and you have to go through and look through the whole room to see if you actually see it. And if it's behind something, then that's going to be distracting to you. If you have to look 4 or 5 different places before you find it, then that's going to be distracting to you as well. But also, when you're actually trying to do something and you're finding that it's boring and you're finding you just want to have some sort of thing to look at that's maybe more interesting, then that's going to distract you from whatever you need to do. Now, let's say there's all this interesting stuff around you, and what you're doing is not very interesting. It is boring, but you know you have to do it. You have to get done with this assignment or work project or whatever you need to concentrate on that thing. It's super important. You need to focus all your attention on there. But if all this interesting stuff is around you, then it's going to be harder to focus on things. And the more stuff that's interesting around you, the more it's going to be harder to actually do what you need to do. So with less things that can actually grab your attention away from what you're trying to focus on, then you're able to go ahead and focus on it better. And here's another way that simplifies your life. Sometimes with ADHD, you overspend. You spend way over your limit. You get impulsive. You buy things you don't need. You buy things like, hey, that's shiny, that's new, I really want it. And you just go and buy it without really thinking about the consequences of it. And so at the end of the month or end of the week, and you're looking through everything, and then you realize, oh, wow, I spent way more than I actually need to spend. And now I have all this stuff here on the way that I have to figure out how to return or what I want to keep and everything like that. And then sometimes if you don't return it in the amount of time, you just end up keeping it. And then that becomes clutter in your home. And with minimalism, you're not going to spend as much money. You're going to buy things that you need, and you're going to buy things of better quality as well because you do want them to last. Because you're going to pick out things and say, okay, I only have this much space in my home and I do want to keep it minimal. So what am I going to buy instead of buying 3 or 4 or 5 different things? What one thing can I buy or two things can I buy that will actually be better for me and can actually last longer? And here's another great way that minimalism simplifies your life with ADHD. With ADHD, you lose things a lot, and you just might not be able to find something. You don't know where it is. You just go into a room, put something down, and just forget where it is. And then you have all this stuff in the room. You got to look behind it and everything. And so that takes up a lot of time. And so when you have less things in your home, in your room, you can walk in there, look around, and know, hey, I don't have that many things in here. I should be able to see it, should be able to find it super fast. Or if you just like put something down and you probably lose it, you can just look around, go into a room, scan real quick, and then see if it's in there. And if it's not, then you know, okay, it's in somewhere else. But it's a much quicker process. You don't have to look under things. Generally, you don't have to look behind things. Generally, you can see everything very clearly. And that's very important for ADHD to keep things visual. And here's another way that simplifies your life with ADHD. You know that everything that you have in your home has a purpose. Because when you go and try to buy something with minimalism, you actually have to think, okay, I'm going to slow down, think about, do I really need this thing? Because I want to make sure that I keep my home minimal. And so what purpose does this thing serve? Can I get something that actually serves this purpose and another purpose too, multifunctional thing? And so when you look through your home, you're going to see all those things and you know exactly what purpose that thing has in your home. You're not going to have just random things around your home because you probably have decluttered those or given them away, whatever you want to do with them. And now you just have the things, like everything in your home has a specific thing that it does or a specific thing that you use it for. And you can go around looking your home and know that. And with ADHD, sometimes you have analysis paralysis. But in this case, you want to make sure that, hey, I'm going to buy the right thing. So you do have to do a lot of research. You do have to really think about it. So taking a little more time to think about it is okay in this case. But if it's a really quick decision, that's where you don't want to get into analysis paralysis. And also, with everything having a purpose, everything in your home actually has a home. And so you have a specific place that things are supposed to go, or that you decided things are going to be, or you decided what section things are in. Like you've sectioned off your house into zones. Everywhere, everything has a place where it should be. So that way, when you walk around your home, you see it out of place, you know, okay, this goes there. Or if you're trying to find something, you know, okay, I have to go to this location to get that thing. It should be there in its place. And this is going to save you a lot of time, but also you have decided where these things go. So it's going to be much easier for you to remember where those things are when you do want to find them or find the place that you actually need to put it back. And here's another way that simplifies your life. When you walk into a room and you have less stuff in there, less clutter, you feel just happier. You feel less stressed. If you ever walked into a room that's super cluttered, there's stuff all over the place. When you walk in there, you get that feeling of, wow, this is just a cramped space. You don't feel comfortable in that room. You just are just anxious and stressed out. And if you had a long day where just everything went wrong, you know, the traffic was bad, you didn't have a good day at work or whatever, and then you come home and walk into a room that's really cramped, and it just brings your stress level up even more, as opposed to you come home, you walk into a room that doesn't have that much stuff in it. There's minimal stuff in there. You can see more space in there. You don't feel cramped. It's just a more inviting and relaxing feeling when you walk into a room like that. And here's another way that simplifies your life: better sleep. When you have a home that just has the minimal things and you have a lot of space and everything's not cluttered or cramped, and you feel like when you walk into a room, okay, it's inviting and everything, then you are able to sleep better. You're able to get to sleep easier, because if you are uncomfortable in a room and then you try to go to sleep in that same room, then you're going to have a harder time falling asleep. But if you go into that room and you get in there, you're like, wow, this is really nice. I have enough space. I don't have to kind of step over anything or move anything. I can just get in bed and relax, or try to relax, and then go off to sleep. But if that situation is reversed, then when you get into the bed to try to go to sleep, you're just going to be looking around and think about all the stuff that's actually in the room. And then you might just start thinking about all the things in the room that could go wrong, or you're just having racing thoughts all over the place. And so that makes it much harder to get to sleep, as opposed to when you have just the things you actually need in your home. And here's another great way that it simplifies your life. Your room, your home becomes visually appealing when you just have the stuff you actually want and need in there. You don't have all this extra stuff in there that can clutter up the room, can give it a really uncomfortable feeling. So when people come over, they see, oh, wow, this is really nice. This is a very lovely decorated room. And so you feel better because, well, you know, someone came over, they saw it, it's really appealing to them. It's appealing to you because you set it up and you like the way it looks. So when you walk into the room, you feel better as well. And it's something that's important because you want to be able to have a visually appealing room in your home, so that when you are in the room, you are comfortable, you feel great. If you want to learn more, I do have a video about ADHD minimalism rules I did, and this should pop up on your screen and you can watch that video right now.